Today I want to talk about outside edges. Outside edges inside of the outside rockers and outside edges inside of the outside mohawks. So I want to start with the rockers. So outside rocker, it's a turn. It's a difficult turn. It means that we have to go from forward to backwards or backwards to forward from outside edge onto an outside edge. So let's talk about the entrance into the rocker first. So outside edge, we have two ways to enter the edge. We can enter it with the opposite hand in front, or we can enter it with the same hand in front. Both ways are correct. There is no such a thing as the wrong way of entering the turn or the right way of entering the turn. It's just different. And it also depends on the step you're coming from or going into. So before we let our blade turn, we need to be completely facing the circle. So if my circle goes this way, I step with my opposite hand facing the circle, leaning inside of the circle. Then as I go through the curve, I bring my leg through, finishing the curve with the same leg in front as my arm. So that's how we finish our edge right before we turn. We have two variables what define the depth of our curve. It's the twist of our upper body, inside or outside of the curve, depending on the situation. In our case, it's facing in, and the lean of our upper body into the curve. Why do we want to lean into the curve? This is the majority of our weight. So let's say we skate forward. It's a little hard to imagine when we're standing on the floor, but let's use our imagination and pretend that we are skating forward on 1 or 2 feet. If we just lean to the left, our blade will follow our weight and it will start curving. So we are just making our job easier and trying to get our curve to be as deep as possible by throwing our weight inside of that curve. And then our blade won't have any other options but to curve, because our upper body is twisting and leaning into that curve. So let's try that entrance, that outside swing roll one more time, and thinking about twisting and leaning into the curve. So pre-bend on your right foot, right hand in front, turn your head inside of your curve, which is to the left of you. Step and lean into that curve, which is to the left of you. Then get through the curve, bringing your leg through, keeping the twist and the lean. So the lean and the twist will not change as you get from the beginning of the curve to the end of it. Now, how do we turn? So I entered, I finished my curve, I entered my turn, my right hand and my left leg are in front. I look inside of that circle. Now, something has to help me to turn my blade from forward to backwards. That something could be a lot of things, but I like to use the analogy of someone grabbing your hand and your foot and pulling them out, unrolling you out of your position. So you rolled into your position, you twisted in, you feel the tension in your waist, you look inside of the circle, your weight is there, and now someone grabs your hand and your foot and pull them away from your center, unrolling you out of that twist into the other twist. So let's try that. Step onto your left foot, right hand in front, left foot in front. Pretend that someone grabbed your hand and your foot and they pull them away from your center. And as that happens, your blade turns and then you get either into the coupe or you just stay in this position. Okay, let's do it. Now, in order for us to get outside of that, to get out of that turn on an outside edge, we have to sustain the position of our upper body, which allows you to face outside of the circle, increasing the twist as we are trying to increase the depth of that curve. So just like the exercise what we did with Mark, we're gonna push onto the left foot, opening up our upper body outside of our imaginary circle. And then as we bend our knee and bending our free legs, knee getting into the coupe. We're gonna try to increase the twist of our upper body outside of that circle, looking to the right. Okay, now let's try to connect all of them. So we're gonna start here. We're gonna push on one, looking and leaning to the left. Jump through the curve. Get your leg in front. Place it right underneath your arm on 2. Pull your arm and leg out on 3, creating the counter twist in your body. And then on 4, we're gonna settle into the curve by pushing onto the floor through the bend of our knee, leaving our leg extended or letting it go into the coupe. And as that happens, we're gonna increase the twist 5, 6.
And if you want to try to do an outside rocker on the ice, you would have to follow the exactly same steps. You start by stepping onto your left foot with your right hand in front. You bring your right foot and place it underneath your arm, pulling your leg and your arm out. You turn your blade, and bending your knee and twisting your upper body, you settle onto that curve.